Hello and welcome to English Weaver, where we learn English through listening and shadowing. Today we dive into the power of questions in learning, so don't forget to subscribe and join our community of curious learners. Imagine a classroom where every student asks sharp, probing questions. Instead of passive memorization, they engage deeply, sparking curiosity that lights the path to fluency and confidence like never before. Not long ago, I watched a friend struggle with new vocabulary. He repeated words mindlessly, yet forgot them by evening. Then he tried asking why each word mattered, and his recall improved dramatically. That simple shift, asking better questions, became a turning point for his English journey. It transformed rote practice into active exploration, turning frustration into excitement and uncertainty into clarity. In this talk, we will explore why questions matter so much in learning. We'll see how they guide our focus, sharpen our minds, and build connections between ideas that propel you toward mastery. As we go on, notice how every question we pose unlocks doors you didn't know existed. You'll learn to craft questions that reveal patterns, expose gaps, and spark fresh motivation to push your limits. By the end of our journey, you'll understand how to harness the power of inquiry to boost your vocabulary, improve comprehension, and speak with confidence, all through the art of asking. Today's conversation will set the stage for practical strategies and real examples you can use immediately, whether you're self-studying at home or participating in a lively classroom discussion. Stay tuned as we demystify the science behind questions and learning, showing you why curiosity is not just a trait, but a skill you can cultivate day by day to accelerate your progress. Let's embark on this adventure together, transforming your study routine with simple yet profound questions that lead to breakthroughs in understanding, retention, and joyful exploration of English. We often treat learning as a one-way street where teachers deliver content and we absorb it. Yet without asking questions, we remain passive, letting knowledge slip through gaps we fail to notice. Questions act like a compass, guiding our attention to what truly matters. They help us prioritize vocabulary that fuels real conversations rather than trivia we quickly forget. When you ask, "How can I use this phrase tomorrow?" you transform a word list into a personal tool. This meaningful connection cements new terms far deeper than mindless repetition ever could. Research shows that learners who pose questions recall information more effectively. By engaging in inquiry, they build mental maps that link new ideas to familiar ones, boosting long-term retention. Imagine dropping seeds in fertile soil versus on a concrete floor. Inquiry nourishes your mind like water and sunlight, ensuring your English skills sprout roots that grow stronger over time. Without probing questions, learning remains shallow. You risk memorizing phrases without context, struggling to recognize them in real conversations, or feeling lost when native speakers speak naturally. Frustration can mount as progress stalls. You might ask yourself why you study hard yet still freeze when someone asks a simple question in English, eroding your confidence and motivation. By contrast, a curious mind thrives. Each question you ask uncovers clues about grammar patterns, pronunciation quirks, and cultural nuances that textbooks alone often overlook. The impact extends beyond language. Cultivating inquiry boosts problem-solving abilities and critical thinking skills, enriching how you approach challenges in work, study, and daily life. Picture a student who never questions irregular verbs. They may learn a few rules by heart but stumble constantly, wasting time correcting mistakes they could have prevented with timely inquiry. Now consider another who asks, "Why does this verb form appear here?" They discover hidden patterns, master exceptions rapidly, and start using language structures with ease and precision. This shift from passive memorization to active investigation sparks a transformation in your learning journey, making every lesson an opportunity to explore rather than endure. When you make questioning a habit, you become your own teacher, capable of diagnosing confusion and seeking answers independently, freeing you from endless reliance on external resources. The benefits also touch your emotional state. Inquiry fosters a sense of control and ownership over your progress, reducing anxiety and replacing self-doubt with genuine excitement to uncover more. If left unchecked, poor questioning habits lead to plateaus. You might hit a wall where new vocabulary fails to stick, speaking remains hesitant, and reading comprehension halts at basic levels. Worst of all, lack of curiosity can breed disillusionment, causing talented learners to abandon their goals, convinced they lack the aptitude rather than recognizing a strategy issue. Embracing the power of questions addresses these issues head-on. It propels you past obstacles, turning each stumbling block into a stepping stone toward greater fluency and joy in learning. Questions also deepen social engagement. By inquiring during conversations, you invite follow-up, spark dialogue, and form stronger connections that make practicing English an enjoyable shared experience. This communal aspect fuels motivation as you witness progress in real time through dynamic exchanges, laughter over misunderstandings, and the thrill of mutual discovery. Without asking, you miss these rich interactions and remain isolated in your study bubble, losing out on the collaborative energy that accelerates language acquisition. Moreover, well-crafted questions reveal cultural contexts, idioms, and humor that textbooks rarely cover. You learn not just words, but the living heartbeat of English-speaking communities. Imagine asking about a local saying and understanding its origin. Suddenly, you feel part of a cultural tapestry, equipped to navigate real-life scenarios with confidence and authenticity. Ultimately, questions cultivate a growth mindset, reminding you that every challenge is an opportunity to learn. Rather than fearing mistakes, you embrace them as clues guiding your next inquiry. This perspective reshapes setbacks into valuable feedback, fueling resilience and continuous improvement that extend far beyond language into all aspects of personal and professional growth. By recognizing why questions matter and what happens when we ignore them, we lay the groundwork for transformational change in our English journey and beyond. Embrace this insight now, because the quality of your questions determines the depth of your understanding, the speed of your progress, and the joy you find in every new discovery. Let's recognize that without purposeful inquiry, we risk wandering aimlessly, missing the thrill of breakthroughs that await those who dare to ask, wonder, and explore. In the next phase, we will dive into concrete strategies that help you craft powerful questions, enabling you to unlock new levels of clarity, retention, and fluency. Remember, every question you pose is an invitation to growth, reshaping the way you learn and empowering you to make every moment of study count. To begin, cultivate curiosity by framing open-ended questions about each lesson you study, asking yourself what makes this grammar point unique and how you can apply it in real context. Next, use the classic 5 W's and 1 H: who, what, where, when, why, how. For example, ask, why is this idiom used here, to uncover subtle meanings and cultural hints. Create a question journal. At the end of each study session, write 3 to 5 questions that arose as you learned, such as, how does word order change meaning in this sentence? Review your journal daily. Choose one question to research, using dictionaries, online forums, or asking a teacher, then note the answer and repeat the inquiry process to deepen understanding. Employ the technique of question chaining. After finding an answer, ask a follow-up question like, why does this rule exist? Or, how can I explain it to a friend? To reinforce learning. Practice Socratic self-talk. As you read or listen, pause and question every statement. What evidence supports this usage? Or, how does this relate to something I already know? Use examples from your own life. Ask, how would I describe my daily routine using this tense? Or, what questions might a colleague ask me in English about my hobby? Role-play scenarios. Write questions you might receive in a job interview or casual chat, then practice answering and reversing roles, asking yourself, why did I choose this word? Leverage peer learning. In a study group, propose a mystery sentence and have members ask questions like, what does the phrasal verb imply here? And discuss possible interpretations. Integrate technology. Use language apps that prompt you to type questions about content, then review the instant feedback to refine your inquiries and correct misunderstandings. Turn listening practice into an inquiry game. Pick a podcast or video clip, pause every minute, and ask, what is the speaker's main idea? And why did they choose that example? When reading articles, underline unfamiliar structures and write questions in the margin, such as, how does this passive construction affect tone? Then research or ask online. Incorporate questioning into vocabulary drills. For each new word, ask, what synonyms or antonyms exist? And in what situations would I never use this term? To deepen nuance. Use spaced repetition, not just for review, but for question evolution. Revisit old questions and see if your answers have changed with new knowledge, noting progress in your journal. Challenge assumptions. When you learn a rule, ask, are there exceptions? And which contexts break this rule? This exposes irregularities often missed in routine study. Apply Bloom's taxonomy, start with basic what questions, then move to how, and aim for evaluate or create questions, like how would I design a lesson to teach this concept? Example, you learn the present perfect tense. Ask, why use present perfect instead of simple past? Then find examples showing difference in practice by creating your own sentences. Another example, encountering the idiom hit the books, you ask, where did this expression originate? And how can I use it in different contexts to cement true comprehension? Use question prompts on flashcards. On one side, write a phrase, on the other, write a guiding question like, how can I include this in a formal email? To practice contextual usage. During conversation practice, consciously pause after each response and ask yourself, was my pronunciation clear? Or, is there a simpler phrase I could use? Then self-correct in real time. Integrate visual aids. When studying a concept like prepositions, draw a simple scene and label it. Then ask, why do we say on the table versus at the table? And observe spatial logic. Combine writing and questioning. After drafting a short paragraph, read through and underline any awkward phrasing, asking, how could this be smoother? Or, what alternative expression fits better? Use peer feedback loops. Share your writing and ask classmates or friends to pose 3 questions about clarity, structure, or tone, then use their inquiries to revise and polish. Leverage online Q&A platforms. When stuck, post clear, concise questions on forums like Reddit or language communities, detailing what you've tried and asking, why isn't this working? Schedule weekly inquiry hours where you focus solely on unanswered questions from your journal, ensuring none go neglected and fostering a habit of consistent exploration. Employ metacognitive reflection. At the end of each week, ask, which questions led to the biggest breakthroughs? And what questioning strategies will I adjust next week to refine your approach? Use context switch questions. Learn a phrase, then ask, how would this phrasing change in a business email versus a casual text to develop stylistic awareness? Example, for the phrasal verb, look up, ask, what is the difference between look up information and look up to someone? To avoid common pitfalls and master nuance, incorporate cultural queries. When you encounter a tradition or holiday reference in a text, ask, what historical events shaped this? To connect language to real-world context and deepen relevance. Use layered questioning. Start with broad queries, then zoom in. What is reported speech? Then, how do we shift tenses and pronouns in indirect speech to break down complexity into steps? Turn errors into question catalysts. When you make a mistake, ask, why did I choose the wrong structure? And what pattern can help me avoid this next time? Converting errors into growth opportunities. Use mnemonic questions. Create quirky questions like, why does because hide a music note? To remember spelling quirks or irregular patterns through imaginative associations. Encourage why not questions. After mastering a rule, ask, why not omit the article here? To explore minimal forms and achieve more natural-sounding speech. Example, You learn countable and uncountable nouns. Then ask, why can't I say informations? And research grammar forms to confirm and reinforce correct usage. Develop thematic question banks. For each topic, travel, work, hobbies, compile a list of common questions native speakers ask, then practice forming and answering them to build conversational fluency. Use thinking aloud protocols. While solving a grammar exercise, verbalize each question, such as, what tense fits this time expression, to externalize reasoning and spot gaps in logic. Pair questioning with teaching. Explain a concept to a friend and ask them to interrupt with why, or can you give another example, to simulate rigorous interrogation and cement your own knowledge. Example, teaching the difference between since and for. Invite questions like, why do we pair since with specific points and for with durations, to ensure clarity from both sides. Practice reverse questioning. After reading a text, write 10 questions you think could appear in a comprehension quiz, then answer them to test your grasp and identify weak spots. By integrating these strategies into daily routines, you transform passive study into an active quest, using questions as engines of discovery that drive deep learning and lasting fluency. Many learners hesitate to ask questions, fearing they'll appear uninformed or slow. Yet this silence creates gaps that widen over time, blocking progress and undermining confidence. Distractions and lack of focus also derail inquiry, as notifications, fatigue, or multitasking prevent deep engagement with material and hinder meaningful questioning. Time constraints often leave no space for thoughtful inquiry, forcing rapid review of content without pausing to reflect or formulate insightful questions. Overwhelming resources can breed confusion, making learners unsure which questions to prioritize or which sources to trust for reliable answers. To overcome these obstacles, start with mindset shifts. View questions as signs of curiosity and strength, not weakness, embracing them as essential tools for growth. Next, schedule dedicated inquiry slots in your calendar, short intervals of focused exploration, free from distractions, phone on silent, and clear objectives in mind. Use a simple checklist before each session. Define your goal, list key topics, jot down 2 to 3 guiding questions, and commit to finding at least one answer. Create a distraction-free study zone. Tidy workspace, headphones if needed, and specific study materials at hand, minimizing interruptions that break concentration. Prioritize questions by impact. Label them high, medium, or low based on how much they influence your understanding, tackling the most critical ones first. Use trusted resources, reputable grammar guides, learner dictionaries, and community forums with expert moderators, ensuring the answers you receive are accurate. When uncertain, cross-check answers across 2 or more sources, asking follow-up questions such as, which explanation makes the most sense in everyday speech? Build accountability by sharing your questions and findings with a study partner or group, committing to discuss 1 question per meeting to reinforce learning. Leverage mobile apps for micro-inquiry. Set a daily reminder to ask 1 new question about a word or rule, jot your question in a notes app, and review later. Develop a roadmap. Outline weekly themes, grammar, vocabulary, listening, and assign 2 core questions to each, ensuring balanced growth across skills. Example: Week 1 focuses on tenses, with questions like, how does present perfect differ from past simple in storytelling? And when is each most natural? For Week 2, target phrasal verbs, asking, what are the most common ones for travel? And how do their meanings shift with different particles? Incorporate checkpoints. At midweek, revisit your journal, assess progress on key questions, and adjust the roadmap based on which topics need extra attention. Use a visual progress tracker. Draw a simple chart with topics on one axis and weeks on the other, marking questions answered and insights gained to visualize progress. Anticipate fatigue by varying inquiry formats. Alternate between reading, listening, speaking, and writing questions to maintain interest and engage different cognitive pathways. Prepare question prompts in advance. Autopilot answers no longer suffice. Ensure each study tool or text comes with at least one predefined question to explore. When frustration arises, pause and ask meta-questions like, what part of this concept feels unclear? Or, why am I stuck here? To pinpoint the root issue. Seek support proactively. Reach out to teachers or online communities when you hit a stumbling block, explaining what you've tried and asking targeted, concise questions. Celebrate small wins by checking off each answered question in your journal, reflecting on how each resolved query brings you one step closer to fluency. At the end of each week, review your question bank, archive resolved items, and identify new challenges, ensuring a continuous cycle of inquiry and discovery. Keep refining your action plan. As you grow, update your checklist with advanced question types, such as evaluative or creative queries, elevating your learning practice. Remember that persistence and consistency are key. Even when questions seem simple, their cumulative effect drives exponential improvement over time. With this roadmap and checklist in place, you're equipped to tackle common challenges head-on, transforming obstacles into opportunities for growth and deeper mastery of English. Now we draw all these insights together, summarizing how strategic questions ignite curiosity, strengthen retention, and transform your English study into an engaging, lifelong adventure. When you habitually ask why, how, and what if, you build deeper connections between concepts, accelerating progress, boosting confidence, and making learning feel dynamic and meaningful each day. Embracing inquiry shifts you from passive recipient to active explorer, empowering you to tackle new challenges, unlock hidden patterns, and sustain motivation even when material grows complex. Remember the benefits you gain when curiosity leads the way. Enhanced vocabulary recall, improved comprehension, sharper critical thinking, and authentic communication that resonates with real speakers. Thank you so much for joining this journey on English Weaver. We hope these techniques inspire you to ask better questions, learn faster, and enjoy every step toward fluency with confidence and joy. If you found value in this talk, please like, subscribe, and share with fellow learners so we can grow our community and bring you more tips, stories, and inspiring English conversations. We would love to hear from you. What question will you ask first, or which strategy will you try in your next study session? Please leave a comment below to spark discussion and mutual support. What topic or character story would you like to explore in our next episode on English Weaver? Let us know your ideas so we can craft the perfect content just for you. Thanks for watching. As you embrace the power of questions, remember every inquiry fuels growth and turns challenges into milestones. Your journey to English mastery begins with a single question. So start asking today. Your feedback matters deeply. Sharing your successes and challenges helps us refine our content, letting English Weaver grow stronger as a supportive hub for learners worldwide. Ready to transform your learning with better questions? Hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more episodes. And don't forget to comment your next topic suggestion below now.